Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. A few months ago, I had read a homeschooling book that I actually thoroughly enjoyed and am going to go back to often, but there was one part that I found a little bit unsettling. In that part, the author just made the reference that she doesn't enjoy doing hands-on activities with her kids, and then she just kind of wrote it off and said, but that's okay because hands-on activities are really just busy work anyway. And as someone who does a lot of hands-on activities with my kids, I really take issue with that. Because to me, busy work is something that you give your kids just to pass the time, and it doesn't have any real meaning to anything that you've been learning. Whereas hands-on activities are fantastic ways for your kids to make connections with the things that you've been learning. For example, a few years ago, my kids and I were studying the medieval times, and they had a medieval feast, and they looked up the different kinds of servants that there were, and they made costumes, and we prepared food, and we had guests come over, and they ate with their hands out of bread trenchers that we had made. And that was not busy work at all, because now when the kids hear about the medieval times, they have this to go back to. You know, they had a little taste of what it's like. Another thing that we've done is my kids love the Little House series. And actually, I have a Little House unit study that I did write, and I also did it with my kids. I'm going to link that at the bottom because we had so much fun with that. But there are a lot of hands-on activities in that. And one of them was that we made molasses snow candy. And again, somebody might look at that and say, oh, well, that's just busy work. But it's not just busy work, because not only are the kids measuring and cooking with that, but they're getting an actual taste of the sorts of things that Pioneer kids did. You know, again, it's another connection for the things that they're learning about. Another example is, I'm going to have a lot of examples. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just going to give you a few. But another example that I have is, years ago also, my kids were learning about the rainforest. And so rather than just read books about the rainforest, we decided that we were going to paint a mural together of the rainforest. So what we did was we went to the dollar store and we got a roll of butcher paper. We rolled it out front on the sidewalk. But before we had done that, each of the kids were assigned a different layer of the rainforest. And they had to look up what sorts of animals and what sorts of vegetation were there. And then it was their assignment. They each had to paint their own layer on our rainforest canopy. And again, not busy work at all. It was a great way for them to really apply the things that they've learned. So I just want to point out the fact that sometimes there are homeschooling methods that we may not particularly like. There are some homeschooling methods that I don't particularly like, but we shouldn't write them off just because it's something that we wouldn't want to do. If you don't want to do hands-on activities with your kids because you don't like it, that's fine, because there are times I don't feel like doing it either. You know, it can be hard when you've got a lot of kids to do all these hands-on activities, but you have to be careful about assuming that they're not going to be worth anything for your kids. They're so worth it. So if you ever hear of anyone say something about hands-on activities that they're not really going to help your kids learn, I really urge you to rethink that, because if it's something that you're going to enjoy and if it's something that your kids are going to enjoy, definitely do it. Because sometimes those hands-on activities are going to help things to click with your kids far more than any book or video ever will. So that's all I have to say on that, and I hope you have a great day.